Best of 3. Protoss versus Protoss. In the top left, the German Protoss player in the blue. It is ShoWTimE. Up against him, from Korea, in the red, we have Classic. Both players... Now, PvP is something different entirely. It is an art form, but one of those art forms that people don't really respect as an art form because they're prejudiced, like interpretive dance or esports. I don't know where I was going with that. I was treading a line and I somehow crossed it anyways. But Protoss versus Protoss, much like TVT, is all about the early production tab. But unlike TVT, Defender's advantage is not really much of a thing. Yes, you have shield battery overcharge, but the lack of a reliable door, as well as the strength of Stargate units early on, can lead to some incredibly dramatic and convoluted situations in early game Protoss versus Protoss. The Phoenix Wars, the Blink Stalker battles. Occasionally you'll get people slapping down shield batteries on their opponent's natural. It definitely is not for the faint of heart or the weak of mind, and is by far the most volatile mirror matchup overall. And here we go. We gotta keep track of whose pylons are whose. Right, ShoWTimE slaps down a pylon in Classic's natural. Classic, will he return the favor? Both sides building a Zealot. Yeah, it's not just Zergs that get pylon blocked in the early game. Oh no, it's happening, guys. The Stargate's at the front. I think the War of the Phoenix will begin. Classic keeping that probe alive. Looks like the pilot was taken out. Now, I am hard-pressed to see anything but a Phoenix War coming out of this. We'll see if neither player getting Warp Gate at all. The handful of gateway units produced initially may be the final count for a while, as both players are going to be... Yep, okay. The first Phoenix... ShoWTimE a little... Okay. Well, here we go. Probes hunted down, eliminating all the enemies from the base. Classic still has a probe there. Ah, yes. And I'd like to correct myself. You get dropped to the knockout bracket if you get knocked out here. That is the benefit of being one of the qualifying players. I apologize. It's not quite as dramatic, but obviously the knockout bracket sounds very scary, and it is, because that is when you're on the ropes. Ideally, you're able to take a win here and survive for as long as possible, because I imagine you get to later rounds in the other bracket as well. Second Stargate from ShoWTimE. Yeah, nobody's getting eliminated from the winner stage on game 1. What do I know? This is why we just give platitudes instead of decisive facts. More Stargates. This is where pylons become a surprisingly meaningful part of the game as well. As neither player going to be easily able to take out spylons, scouting pylons, of course, in the early game. Or really at all, as Phoenixes, for all their strength, they cannot lift buildings. What if you could build it, like, based on how large the building is? Like, add 2 more Phoenixes. Like, 10 Phoenixes should be able to lift a Nexus. Let's make it happen. The war continues, entirely in the production tab. The next breakpoint will likely be... Oh, and here, the pylons begin. The spylons for both sides. The next breakpoint will likely be a fleet beacon and potentially Phoenix range. The first fleet beacon is for Classic. ShoWTimE actually has a small Phoenix advantage, but they travel in packs to hide their numbers and make it a lot harder to pick out the actual count. So, they dance around the edge of the ranges. Pylons looking at both sides. Is he gonna go for it? Oh, will they, won't they? ShoWTimE has a lead in the Phoenixes, but if Classic is able to get Phoenix range, he could be untouchable. There is that window. It's just a couple extra range, but because Phoenixes can attack while moving, makes them effectively invincible when well microed. Of course, you don't have much time to react on either side to that sort of scenario, but Phoenix range is being chrono boosted out. Classic. Going for it first. If ShoWTimE realizes he can pull back and potentially use his numbers. But Classic is going to be sitting... Now, Classic doesn't know if ShoWTimE is going to have Phoenix range. So it's not like he can just say, now I have 30 seconds before your Phoenix range so I can win the game. No, he's got to gamble a little bit that he has that advantage. The pylons across the map here. Phoenix range starts for ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE does have a Phoenix advantage. Neither player bothering with upgrades besides range, as they're just so devastating to each other. Anyways, you can click on it without actually seeing and potentially realize they have the range. As soon as he picks up anything, I'm sure ShoWTimE's clicking on it. He doesn't want to fight till Phoenix range is done. He's desperate. Yep, those purple beams. The pulse crystals are online. ShoWTimE. 10 seconds. 10 seconds! He's losing a lot of probes in those 10 seconds, though. That is what the advantage he bought himself. Another Phoenix pops out, is obliterated, but ShoWTimE, here we go. The dance of death, intercepting some more Phoenixes. The numbers. It looks like ShoWTimE is losing the fight. 8 to 10 here. Classic maintains the advantage, and he does have more probes. There is no real recourse, as we just fling out the Phoenix beams at each other. Classic managed to leverage the range advantage ever so slightly. And now, a shield battery could help, but I think the window was just a little too large and ShoWTimE lost too much. Will he attempt to switch out of it? It's still chrono boosting him out. Trying to catch what he can. Gets a pick off. Mothership. Wow. That is the desperation move. There is no detection at all. The active cloaking field could be the deciding factor. ShoWTimE, go big or go home. That is the best case scenario is ShoWTimE now. That is the next level of tech. The mothership. All right. Well. And the pylons are blocking additional Nexi. The probes, he's blocking it with a gateway. Oh, it's so awkward. 4 Phoenixes at a time. It's 18 to 14. There does come a point where the numbers can just take out the mothership before really the Phoenixes can do the damage. There is still 0 detection from Classic. He could build an oracle if he spots that he's gateway blocking. ShoWTimE goes there. This is typical PvP here. Oh, be careful, be careful, be careful. Get out of there! I'm sorry. The Phoenix count is heavily in favor of Classic. ShoWTimE, the mothership. Wait, he finished it. It's done. The mothership. The mothership gamble. The game hinges on this mothership. There is no detection. The timing of the active cloak is going to be absolutely... He's trying to draw him into the fray. But he uses the cloak! And the Phoenixes are untouchable. Time warp! But did he turn the tides well enough? Did ShoWTimE do it with the cloaking? It's close. I don't think either player... I'm not convinced either player has any idea what's going on. And it's dead even at the end of the day. 13 Phoenixes. But Classic has more. The tie goes to the leader. And Classic has 4 Gee, that's it. The mothership was not enough. Wow. And it's all over. Classic, who didn't go for a mothership, is clearly going to have more Phoenixes as time goes on. Well. Certainly a game indeed. ShoWTimE just... Classic managed to sneak out that Phoenix range that much quicker. Okay, more like that much. Not that much. It was that much. But that little bit of advantage carried through for the rest of the game. PvP. The mothership didn't quite... The time warp didn't quite land. It was almost enough. 2 or 3 more Phoenixes and maybe you make a game of it, but... Well, we will see. Heading into game 2, we'll see if we get another... I think maps with the ramp to the natural really do allow that more defensive style. Allow/encourage of Phoenix Wars. We're waiting to see. The next game loaded up. Any moment now. Not really much to look over. I'm sure ShoWTimE knows what happened. Range 30 seconds later. There's really no room to do anything. Phoenixes are so expensive. Out of 2 Stargates, you don't really have enough money to do anything else. All right, guys, we gonna play game 2? No, we must contemplate the drama. What was that last game? For a while longer. It's like Gumiho versus Clemens starting up as well. I like the purple beams. All right. I think they look cool. Just thought I would share. That didn't lead us down a particularly long-winded conversation train. I'm a big... As a caster, the Blink Ruptor meta... As a caster, the Blink Ruptor meta has probably made the most dramatic games, which we still see on occasion. But I think what has changed this way? Well, the Disruptor getting nerfed also reduced its effectiveness against Protoss. The Immortal in the newest patch, the Immortal now eats the first hit with its barrier. Before, what would happen is you tap the Immortal on the shoulder, and it would hit. And that tap might be a Disruptor shot. That tap might be an EMP. But now, and then it would be like, oh my god, we stand against the darkness. Like, but now the first hit, whether it's a Disruptor shot, a Zergling Claw, or an EMP, gets absorbed by the barrier. It's preemptive. And that actually has created the situation where they can no longer be two-shot initially by Disruptors. So I think that in and of itself has helped to reduce the prevalence of the mass Disruptor meta, alongside the fact that they get countered by Phoenixes. But mostly valuable against EMP, but definitely has some effect against the Ruptors. All right, we got game 2. The PC was frozen because that game was so epic. We actually killed the observer or the admin PC. But don't worry, we're here now for game 2 on Oceanborn. Classic versus ShoWTimE. Now, place your bets on whether game 2 is longer than the break between the games. We're going to find out. Loading in now. I think we'll see a little more variety in the early game on Oceanborn. There isn't the obvious ramp to the natural. I doubt we'll see the Phoenix Wars again. Hopefully not. All right. In the bottom right, taking game 1 with the Phoenix Range gamble paying off. It is classic. It's always on classic to be the tech Protoss. All right, he goes for the science victory every time. ShoWTimE, not prepared for it. Now spawning in the top left. It's not that he played poorly, it's just so much of PvP is playing poker. And sometimes you play your hand too early or too late. You go all in at the wrong time. You gotta know when to ante up. Other poker terms. Sometimes you get royal flushed. That doesn't work as well. But now ShoWTimE will be first out of this group here. If he doesn't pull it together soon. A tough match against Gumiho, and now Classic lining him up. He needs 2 in a row. We're going to go with the 2 gate on the top of the ramp. ShoWTimE is not necessarily expanding, but he is protecting the low ground. So a marked split in styles here. Classic defaulting to the more standard Protoss versus Protoss opener. ShoWTimE a bit riskier, once again on a map without the ramp directly to the natural. There is the ramp here, but not really the same thing. ShoWTimE not getting a second gate. He's actually chronoing probes. He's going to get a zealot. That's to deal with the potential pylon block. Oh, classic. What's it going to be? He's got 3 in both gases. Looks like a Stargate. A bold move. ShoWTimE already has a Stargate on the way, though. So, oh. Double Stalker. Maybe a Robo then instead? Yes. No, 3rd gate, sorry. I was wrong on all counts. I could have just waited 10 seconds, but no, I had to say something. I mean, that's what they hired me for, but still. Classic coming in. Has he seen the Stargate? Yes. We'll confirm it. Zealot looking around. Puts another pylon down out here. Just making sure ShoWTimE not gonna find it. The probe will be headed back in, and if he confirms no expansion yet, he's just looking to knock him out. The 3 gate against just 1. I'm not a mathematician, but that's quite a disadvantage. But a Zealot Stalker able to catch the first Stalker. Shield battery is done just in time. ShoWTimE putting together the defenses. Oracle. This is a bit awkward. The probe, I don't think will be able to delay it. But ShoWTimE just now lost his probe on the other side after confirming there is no expansion. So he's got all the info. Starts a Void Ray. Chrono Boost immediately. And there's the Robo. So I was right, but I was too... Not important. The Robo, Immortal first or Warp Prism? That's it gonna be. Somehow still gonna be wrong. Observer. The Warp Prism it is. But the Void Ray is already out. ShoWTimE is ready with the defense. Oracle gets in. Gets no kills, but full revelation. He's gonna be able to see the lack of expansion. ShoWTimE knows. He's got all the info now. Well, besides one glaring point, which is the Proxy Robo and the Warp Prism. But Void Ray is the right call. 3 shield batteries at the front. None in the main, though. How many Stalkers in general? There are 9 Stalkers in total, more heading across the map. There's nothing back at home here. He's gonna try to juggle with the Prism. It'll come down to how quickly ShoWTimE can react. The Prism already unloading into the main. ShoWTimE responds immediately. I think probes are gonna have to be pulled. Lays down a shield battery. The Oracle burning through. Shield battery overcharged to counter it. Lights up the Void Rays. And prismatic alignment should be enough to ward him off for now. Both sides losing workers. Oracle fighting the shield battery. The battle of the beams. Okay, Beamer. And, well, looks like the shield battery will hold for now. The front. 3 full energy batteries here. And he does have shield battery overcharge himself, but that's enough Stalkers to one-shot the Void Rays. That's the only gateway on the field. ShoWTimE about to lose his Cyber Core, which is an awkward one here. Classic working his way through. The shield batteries themselves potentially vulnerable. Void Ray, lot of damage dealt. Knocks it down with a second volley. Guardian Shield, looking for more Void Rays, just walking by, almost kills it. Where's the overcharge? He doesn't quite have the energy. Losing another Void Ray. ShoWTimE now uses the overcharge, but is it too little and too late? He doesn't have any more to work with. The Stalker count is just too damn high. And there's just no other production. The shield batteries are almost useless against this level of Stalker firepower. Takes out a shield battery. Not rebuilding a Cyber Core. Knocks down the Void Ray. And Classic just knocks out ShoWTimE.